Mayo's Lunchbox is brought to you by Corvina Seafood Grill in Boca.
Hold the mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Bifo, and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome fave with shafafa on the side.
Hey, good afternoon again, and welcome back to another edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. And if it seems like we're working double duty and overtime today, that's because we are. But we're doing it for a good purpose because we are here at Corvina Seafood Grill in Boca Raton. And I don't know if you see the assembled crowds behind us, but this is a special time of day because it is getting ready to open the doors on their unbelievably good deal. They call it the social hour. It's going on every night, 5 to 6 p.m. through the end of September. And what they do here, and we're going to be joined by managing partner Eddie Pozzuoli of the Pozzuoli Hospitality, who came up with this idea. We call him Crazy Eddie now.
He really
Mike
is.
Lubie,
He really is, yeah.
He's giving it away, the entire menu, including alcohol, champagne, wine, and I'm talking like Crazy Eddie used to be on WPIX in New York when I was growing up. That was the electronics store, and he would talk like this. I'm Crazy Eddie. You can get cassette players, CDs, 8-track players, stereo speakers, all giving it away, and they are.
So that was
away.
a thing.
Oh, that was.
Steve always references that guy, and I'm like, Eddie does feel like that. Everywhere he goes, they just give things away.
Well, if you Google, not Google, I'm sorry, go on YouTube and just you search for Crazy Eddie New York, and you'll see it was an actor was the name, I think Jerry something or other, who played Crazy Eddie. And then Crazy Eddie was so crazy, he ended up going bankrupt in terms of
yeah, exactly.
But I don't know if it was because of the sales or because of he might have had some other proclivities and vices that kind of burned all the profits from selling all his merchandise at ridiculously low prices. Now, Eddie Pozzuoli will not have that problem. He's going to join us in a minute. He's running a little bit behind because he's a busy man these days. He's getting ready to open another new restaurant, but we'll let him talk about that when he gets here. We just wanted to start the show, and it's nice because we have some Lunchbox fans and Let's Eat South Florida fans who are recognize me and came up and introduced themselves. It's always nice to see the Boca peeps and look at them. And I mean, it's like
crowd. I love it.
They don't have pitchforks. They are pretty well behaved. I don't see any dogs.
No, they're not complaining.
So,
they're in great form, not rare form, great form. But it is funny to see them hoard around like I used to back in the day to get into the club.
Yeah,
when I was like 18,
now,
going into the 21 and over clubs trying to get in.
This is right south of Palmetto Park Road in Boca. Just on Plaza Real South, and it's very easy to find. And they have free valet parking if you're coming for the social hour or any time. And again, it's 5 to 6 p.m. Now, we're doing this show for the first time today on, I keep thinking it's Wednesday. It's Tuesday.
Today is Tuesday.
Tuesday, August 20th. I am reoriented. I am in Boca Raton, Florida.
You are.
But it's also Labor Day because we're going to be re-airing this episode for the Labor Day holiday on Monday, September 2nd.
Yes.
And to all the workers out there of the world who have today off, enjoy your day off. And if you're
they're probably open.
If
Come
you're
here.
working today, sorry, but somebody's got to keep the trains running.
Going,
And I'm not quite sure about their holiday schedule. I think I gotta look. I should be better in terms of knowing these things. But is it going to be open on Labor Day? I think Labor Day is kind of a big restaurant day because people are wrapping up a 3-day weekend, and it's like going out on a Sunday night.
That's what I'm saying. It's not one of those days where you don't go out. It's the opposite. Like, you definitely go out on a Labor Day. It's the end of a weekend. You're excited that you don't have to go to work. You don't want to cook. So why not between 5 and 6 or even later come out to Corvina?
Now, I do see that the typical schedule for Corvina Seafood Grill is open 6 days a week, but closed on Mondays. So I'm assuming that on Labor Day, which is a Monday, that they will be closed. So that this scene you see behind me today on the first airing won't actually be here on when we replay this show, an encore edition on Labor Day. But joining us now, and we started a little bit early without you. Apologies, Eddie, because we wanted to
Mayo
capture
wanted to
this
catch
scene
before the
It's-
open
It's
vibes.
it's not storming the Bastille. They don't have pitchforks.
No, they're actually very
They
well
have-
behaved
I
for
think-
Boca trying to get in somewhere to catch a deal. I will give them that.
I'm going to say this. I think now that they've gotten into the rhythm of it, because this has been going on now for a few months, right?
So when did we start it? We started it in
it May or
mid to
June?
late April, I think.
Oh,
we
yeah,
started.
April
and we
yeah.
were
Wow.
here for our previous episode. Here was 2
Maybe
months
May.
ago.
It might have been May.
I feel like we were in
probably
June and
started
you had
in
just
May.
started.
We
it
were
a few
here in
weeks before.
June. Back then, they were a little rambunctious. They were
Yeah.
frothing at the mouth.
Oh yeah.
And now it seems like
They're
everybody's
like
settled
trained
in.
now.
They
we got a
know-
little single file line going
Yeah.
on.
They're trained.
They know they take the reservations. They know the reservations will be honored. Everybody will get seated. They'll be able to have the orders taken. And then Crazy Eddie strikes again. Half
That's it.
price on everything. How's it going, my friend?
Wild. It's been a week, I guess.
Yeah,
to
so
say,
the
to say the
news was
least.
released.
It's been a
too.
month and a week.
It has.
We did not break the big news around your world, but I did see it in the Sun
Well,
Sentinel.
we,
and
we spoke about
we
it.
talked. No, I'm talking about the name. Remember, he was going to release
Right,
the
he was
name.
gonna
and
release
dabbled
the name.
around
the
it for a little
reporters
bit. Okay.
couldn't wait for us,
I'm
and they
not
got
in
the
the
word
scoop
out.
business
No, no,
anymore.
not at all.
You know, I let the the local press still get their little.
I thought it was great.
scraps, and Philip Valise ended up writing the news that. Well, why don't you tell the Lunchbox and Let's Eat crowd here that what the Sun Sentinel
Yeah,
readers found out last week is
We had a great conversation with Philip a couple weeks ago, last Monday, and went through conversations of, I think I want to say it was like an hour and a half that we talked.
Wow.
And
Oh wow, he's thorough. He's very thorough.
Oh, it was phenomenal, and,
Yeah.
and we had a blast talking, and we had spoken briefly when we opened Prey Zone Palm Beach Gardens,
Okay.
but it was nice to catch up, kind of give them the entire story, because I think there was a lot of confusion with our previous restaurant.
Exactly what happened, and when there's a change in ownership, but then the name stays the
Yeah,
same.
Yeah,
and then
so
your reputation takes the hit unfairly, and all
Exactly.
these things.
So I wanted to make sure that we spelled it out exactly how, and our PR team obviously did a great
Larry
job.
Carino,
and
I had dinner with Larry last week.
He's
Great
a
guy.
great company, and they really, they helped kind of deliver the message that we need to deliver, the consistent message of, this is a restaurant that we built.
By the way, they just opened the doors. Look at them. There's no stampedes. It's not like a South American soccer match or at
a Hard Rock Stadium.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
Copa final.
The Colombian fans,
They're
yeah.
not crawling through the AC ducts. They are filing in single
They
file.
might be crawling through the AC.
You don't know. Yeah, don't
Very
assume.
orderly.
I wouldn't rule it out.
Don't
It is
assume.
the 5 o'clock and right on the dot, right
Yeah,
at 5
yeah,
o'clock.
you guys
They
don't
open
mess
the
around, I'll
doors
give
here
you
at
that.
Corvina. So job well done. Again, the
job.
social hour has been the hit of the summer in the Boca Raton and even cities beyond that. People are coming in.
Oh,
So
we're
it's great.
getting
It's
a
great.
ton.
So that's open. All right. So,
So-
now getting back to
just getting the word out there for obviously we initially owned Tavolino's from when it opened in 2007 until we sold it in 2019.
okay, 12-year run for the Pozzuoli family, and
Yep.
it was known as Tavolino della Notte.
No, it was a Coral Springs powerhouse.
Yeah.
Powerhouse, right?
We loved it. That was our baby.
Chef Bruno was your longtime chef.
Yeah, he actually joined us in 2010.
Okay.
2011 ish.
Okay.
And he's family. He's still family to us, and
He's gone
know,
off to
yeah.
start other ventures, but now
so now we inherited the space back for
taking it back.
for lack of a better term.
Meet the new boss, same as the old boss, but now you've decided you want to rebrand because
Correct.
the old Tavolino name.
It's
time
May
for a
have their
refresh.
Yeah, and that was something that, and it's something that we built, and it's great and everything, and we did it with Bruno and with the
Right.
team that we had, and obviously selling it was great and whatnot, but I think to bring it back,
I think it's
just
smart to
doesn't
rebrand
make
it.
sense.
I think it's smart, especially when maybe some people now don't associate it with the way it used to
once
be.
was.
That's when it's time for a refresh. I really think, not to impugn anybody else, but I think that was one of the problems with all the reboots and different ownership changes with a perennial down in Fort Lauderdale, Mexican place, Carlos and Pepe's, that it had different owners. It had kind of gone through maybe a downswing, and these new owners who brought it back, instead of rebranding and maybe making it fresh and their own, They kept the Carlos and Pepe's name, but then so many people it's one of those hard decisions whether to keep it or start new. So meanwhile, you've got a new name. You're refreshing.
Yeah, now so kind of transforming into Eddie and Vinny's. So that's Eddie and Vinny's Coastal Italian. So what the one thing that we noticed over the past few years since we were that diehard red sauce joint that's got heavy food, this and that. One thing we notice is a lot of people are very, very health conscious as we get into.
Pescatarianism is the new thing.
It is, and to put that little emphasis on super fresh seafood while still
Corvina here, you could see people love it. Yeah,
while still offering those Italian
classics.
Yeah, it's I think it's important that we're able to kind of cater to both those clientele. So
that's great. And Eddie Vinny, it's not an ego thing. You're Eddie, and I guess you had an Uncle Vinny, but this is your kids, right?
It's my two boys, Eddie and Vinny. It's my dad.
Oh, by the way, you posted an Instagram reel of your sons and the little one with the hammer. Vinny was getting ready to break apart the walls because they're doing the build out, the demo before the build out.
Oh my god!
And I guess your older son was
directing.
He was directing and action. I love that. That reminds me of the home movies that me and my brothers used to make. It's awesome.
It's so much fun with them, and now they're Vinny's 3, Eddie's 6. So they're they have an understanding of what's going on and hammers, and it's just cool to have them around for the whole thing. And then obviously being my dad being Ed, and my father-in-law being Vinny.
Right.
Oh, nice.
It's got all kinds of generations of
Eddies.
It's
a good way to tie the family all together and pay an homage to the elders in the family, and also kind of talk about the future of the family and also make sure people know.
Are they going to be food runners? You're going to make your kids run the food when they're 6
better
and 3?
be.
Yeah, okay.
100%.
Hey, table 23, they can pick up.
But they'll be starting a dishwasher first.
There you go.
We got to start them from the bottom. That's it.
Scrub real good.
Yep.
No, it's awesome. It looks like it's going to be a fantastic family affair. And again, your guys are so well known in the Coral Springs area that even with the different rebranding of the name, the whole family vibe will still come through, and people are going to find their way there.
That was what was important to us whenever we did initially put out a press release and talk about it, because it's important that people know that it's us, and it's the care and love we put into not only that business but our current businesses. People know that they can trust us for their whatever special event it is or anything like that.
Now, what's the address again? It's on
10181 West Sample Road.
West Sample, that whole restaurant row. There's a whole bunch of good stuff in that area of the Coral Springs. And Lubie, you're going to be, I guess, checking it out.
Yeah, I mean, that's right down the road from my wife and I, and been to former Tavolino's, and excited to see Eddie and his family bring it back in a whole new way.
Now that you know a few people, maybe you'll be able to get in.
Maybe you'll get a reservation.
OpenTable.com. Just
there you go.
Use your name. No, it's well, I have two big questions. Number one, when do you project the opening day? And number two, when do you think the Lunchbox can come in and actually eat some of the food from the kitchen?
Okay, number one, that's a little bit of a loaded question.
Never.
Hey,
number two, you guys are all welcome there.
Okay,
whatever.
And we actually do want to do a show before it opens.
We'll do a construction show.
Preview, construction, finishing touches, no food. That's okay. I'll be able to live without a little food one day.
Just to show the before.
Yeah, we love doing some previews. People love getting sneak peeks.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So.
Yep.
So opening date, we're hoping December is going to be a real number.
Early December.
Okay, you want to catch season.
Everybody wants to get the holidays and the holiday party season, but it's
I'd prefer if we can, if I have a definitive date and I know I can get open for holidays, I'll
under promise, over deliver. Exactly. Say right around January 1st, and then if it opens in mid-December,
I'd be completely happy only taking holiday parties for December. That way we get the wheels turning. We know we can make everything perfect for only the holiday parties,
right?
And then open in January for regular service.
But you're at the mercy of the the city hall gods, the permitting gods of permitting.
Exactly. So hope everything's with the city now. So it's
how much of a rebuild or redoing, you basically need to get all the permits,
it's an
electrical
entire
and plumbing. And
it's an entire cosmetic refurbishment.
Okay.
But I put an emphasis on cosmetic because we were very particular about the need for large permitting and this and that, because that's where you start to run into severe delays with structural and getting some crazy things through engineers and all that kind of stuff. So we were very particular about doing what we need to do to try to open relatively quick. So
right.
We have
the fast tracking
exactly
things,
we have some extreme a lot of HVAC work, or AC air conditioning work that needs to be completed on the normal side, and then electrical, we're moving circuits. We don't have to add circuits or add panels and this and that, and that's where it starts to become
that would be really a long process,
labor intensive, and approvals with the city and all that. So a lot of it's cosmetic, getting approval for a new floor plan, life safety, all that kind of stuff. But I have faith that we can make it happen. Relatively quick.
It's great. And then in terms of the kitchen, does the kitchen need a lot of work?
We're going to be opening up the. It's not going to be an open kitchen, but there's going to be glass,
a partition.
We're going to have
like a picture window, so you don't hear the cursing and the yelling.
Precisely. So there's going to be big glass, tinted, but you can see right through the kitchen. Right. And fortunately, the kitchen's in good shape, and the hood system is going to stay where the hood system is. That's all in great shape. Like all those pieces that tend to take a lot of time or whatnot. Like we don't have to go through the craziness of saying, okay, well now we need to move the hood from here to here, and move the walk-in and move
keep
this.
As much of the skeleton as
exactly.
As
so with our designer and with our architect, I'm like, okay, where are the big pressure points when it comes to revamping or revitalizing a restaurant, and what where are we going to be able to not change things, and where do we have to change things, and that's kind of where we came out to now where we're at.
Let's talk turkey, or in this case calamari, because it's a coastal seafood menu. And I understand that your guy from here, Jeff Tunks, is going to be involved with kind of developing the menu and overseeing the
Chef
kitchen.
Jeff is going to be, I like to call him our culinary North Star. That's the greatest way to put it. He's
a CIA trained chef. That's a good North Star. Good guidepost.
He's a phenomenal chef.
But he's been all over the place too, and also he gets
New Orleans, DC, West
and he
Coast.
immerses himself in the.
How's his knee doing? Is he back off the disabled list?
He's back at work.
He is in the kitchen.
Well, not here tonight. But his sons are in town, so he actually took
gave
the
him the
week
day
off, and he actually
speaking of time off, I didn't even get into the whole vacation thing, but let's wrap up the discussion about Eddie and Vinny's first, but then I want to get all the lowdown on the places that you drank wine in Bordeaux and France and all that stuff. But
if I can pronounce them, I'll do my best.
That's all good.
I thought I could pronounce them when I was there, but now
we might have to bust out a bottle of French wine right now after the first break, just to get back in the mood. Look at me. Do you notice how smooth that?
I like that. Snored that.
I like that.
That was an interesting snoring.
Getting back to the coastal Italian concept menu and what's going to be happening.
So like I said earlier, we're going to have super fresh seafood, crudos, fresh catches, the yellowtail snapper off the coast, and swordfish, stuff like that. But we're also
soup of the clams. You're going to have like the nice,
of course, we'll do the clams, the mussels, the calamari, maybe a cold seafood salad kind of antipasto situation.
I love all that stuff.
But also.
Scongili? You never see scongili.
You don't see scongili.
That's a tough sell.
A tough one.
Yeah.
Only the diehards.
He made the Mayo face.
Only the diehards.
New Yorker / Italian.
80-year-old Italian men love the scongili. Defo would probably like scongili.
But obviously that stuff will be there, but we're still, we're going to emphasize also great cuts of steak, veal chops.
Okay, so some of the classic other Italian.
Yeah, because that's the stuff that I know. What made us popular there and to begin with. So it's not.
And there are some people who don't like or can't eat seafood who have shellfish allergies. Exactly. So you have to give the people what they want. In this case, some veal and some steak. So that sounds fantastic. Now, if you ask me, how do you feel about seafood centric Italian dishes? Do you?
I don't know. I don't think
You don't think-
Italian.
No, I do.
Seafood.
I love
That's
it. Like I
interesting.
could live, especially in the summertime.
I love seafood
You
dishes.
give me a
but I don't
linguine
think-
and clams, I'm happy.
That's a great
You give me a
dish.
shrimp scampi with a little bit of angel
nice
hair,
dish.
I'm happy. I think if I was going to the chair tomorrow, and I eat like I'm going to the chair a lot, by the way, Eddie, but a final dish to me, like a frutta di mare, where you get like a lobster fra diavolo, take it out of the shell, just have the lobster tail, shrimp, scallops, a little bit of fish, some clams. You could even throw 1 or 2 mussels in there. I'm not the biggest mussel, but when you have that big frutta di mare, which means the fruits of the sea,
yeah.
and you put a little of the fra
That's
diavolo
yeah.
sauce on it, and you toss it with some
white wine.
a little bit of garlic and white wine, and a tinge of tomato sauce. I'm a very happy man. Some pasta. It could even be dry box pasta if it's a linguine. Are you going to be doing
No,
fresh
We'll
pasta?
do, we're
Yeah,
gonna
they're
do
not.
fresh pasta.
Okay. So in that
I
case,
mean,
make it a bucatini
yeah,
or
yeah.
something like that. And then I'm in heaven. That's my ultimate feast because it just, like you said, it's lighter and it's a little bit healthier.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily. I'm not going to say we're going to be only trying to throw seafood down your mouth, but it's definitely going to have a good amount of seafood. And I think I think back to one of my favorite places in Italy, like Positano, that whole Amalfi Coast. There's nothing better than sitting on a balcony of one of those restaurants, looking over the sea and just eating a branzino that just came out
Branzino. I think Branzino,
of the Mediterranean right there.
See, I'm going north. I love going up to the Italian Riviera and the Cinque Terre. I guess the Santa Margherita is one of those towns, but all those little coastal towns along the northern Mediterranean, and they had those things. Why am I blanking on the name? It's like a mini lobster, big shrimp. It's
Langostino.
like a langostino.
Or
Thank
langostino,
you,
okay.
Lubie.
I don't
Actually,
know why I
coming to
came
the
up with that,
plate.
not you.
There you
Thank
go.
you. I love
I'm like,
langostinos where
that's
you
the thing that's
lightly
not
grill
lobster
them,
or shrimp.
olive oil, a
Langostino
little
thing.
parsley, and garlic.
Sometimes people get a little weird about them with the.
That's great. You got to expand the. We'll
You can't-
open up
He's
their
trying. Believe me,
minds.
he's here. He's trying to expand.
Yeah,
We're trying. We're,
You
we're,
can
we're
only
getting, we're getting the point across.
You slowly but surely.
Bring me in there one night. I'll be the Langostino ambassador. I will show people how to eat it. I will
We'll
show
do a whole
people-
lesson.
Yes,
There you go.
that's it. And when all else fails, you could always bring in some stone crab during the stone crab
Exactly.
Yeah,
season
there you
too.
go.
All right. So again, very
So
exciting
targeting
stuff.
December, January.
And
Yep.
that is, I guess, that means it'll be kind of the 4th restaurant in the Pozzuoli hospitality stable.
It will be. Yeah.
Just give the rundown of the
we-
others.
To Prezo, Boca Raton, Palm Beach Gardens, Corvina, which where we're at right now, Seafood Grill. So Prezo being I like to call it a fastball down the center, super solid Italian restaurant.
They call it a meatball, right
Yeah,
there over the plate.
meatball
right over the plate.
Yep.
And very
pizza,
popular
fresh pastas,
comfort food,
happy hour,
Yeah,
reasonably
yeah.
priced,
Exactly.
family
Great
friendly.
value
Very,
oriented.
very
Yeah.
value family oriented.
Corvina, elevated fine dining seafood, chic
And they're streaming in
atmosphere.
even as we speak. They keep
Yeah.
coming through the door for
Yep.
the
5 or
social
6
hour.
and
Again,
beyond.
Half price off every menu item, everything from the bar, every bottle of wine, maybe a good one from Bordeaux.
There you go.
And I am just
You're
shameless.
a piece of work.
Corvina, 5 to 6 p.m. Open every day but Monday,
Mhm.
right? You will be closed on Labor Day, right?
Yes.
Okay. And but otherwise, going all the way through
September,
30th.
right?
Mhm.
And
Wow.
free valet parking as
Free
well.
valet, and also this promotion has been so successful that we have decided to do a derivative or variant
Mhm.
of the social hour going through into season, and we're not completely there on the details yet, but you can be rest
Something.
assured that there's going to be a similarity to
I'm-
what we're currently doing.
Yeah, because I heard people talking and they're like, it's really crazy now. I'm curious what it's going to be like in the season where obviously it's crazier than 2. And I'm like, knowing Eddie, it's not just going to go away. Like,
I could give some educated guesses, but they'll work out all the details.
well, we were talking with
I
management
imagine
too, and they were
Monday,
saying that-
Tuesday is kind of the lighter nights.
Yeah, so why
Monday
not do
you're
work?
closed. In season,
we'll
7
be open
days?
Mondays. Yeah.
you'll be open.
Yeah,
So,
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are slower.
here's what I see: a Monday, Tuesday hour with 50%, and then maybe a Wednesday, Thursday with 25%. But I'm just spitballing. I'm spitballing.
No, but we've got a good idea we want to keep that 50 number.
The 50
number. Interesting. Okay.
So he's crazy editing.
He's definitely pretty
insane.
It just needs to make sense. So we're trying to structure it the right way and make it make sense. So
makes sense to all the people in Boca who have been streaming in here all summer long.
I love it.
I look up and down the block. I don't see any crowds at some of the other restaurants. I did have a question about a sign I saw down the block, but we'll get to that after our first break here on the Lunchbox at Corvina Seafood Grill in Boca. Best restaurants in South Florida? Casa d'Angelo is always at the top of my list. First-class dining, top-flight service, elegant atmosphere, and chef-founder Angelo Ilia is legendary. The flagship in Fort Lauderdale has been serving the finest Italian cuisine since 1997, with other locations in Boca Raton and Aventura. As Angelo himself says, they have an unwavering commitment to unparalleled quality with meticulous attention to details. It's so good, with house-made pastas, pristine seafood, unique meats like elk chops and bison, and seasonal specialties including fragrant fresh truffles from Italy. All locations open 7 days for dinner. Reservations recommended. For a special occasion or any occasion, Casa d'Angelo. Tell them Mike Mayo sent you. If you're looking for an exquisite sushi experience, Kaizen Sushi Bar and Grill in Fort Lauderdale is the place to go. 5640 North Federal Highway, just north of Commercial Boulevard. Chef owner Hui Lam, he's a sushi savant, slicing and serving pristine fish and seafood flown in directly from Japan and around the world. Nigiri, sashimi, special rolls, and omakase dinners. He's ruined me from going anywhere else. It's that good. Open 7 days for dinner and also for lunch. Even if you're not a sushi fan, they have great cooked options, including steaks, chops, rice and noodles, and other Japanese dishes. It's fantastic. For reservations and information, go to kaizenflorida.com. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. Delicious Mexican food with innovative twists. Margaritas with a medley of tongue-tingling flavors. I'm talking about Taco Craft, Taqueria, and Tequila Bar. The place to go on Taco Tuesday and every day. It's located at 510 North Federal and Highway in Fort Lauderdale, and also in Lauderdale by the Sea at Plantation Walk, and soon in Coral Springs. Taco Craft has specials every day, including bottomless drinks for a Sunday brunch, and Taco Tuesdays with their $4 premium tacos, including their new burrito tacos with bone marrow broth. Oh, it's so good. They've even made a taco lover out of me, and they've got so much more, including fajitas, that open-faced smashed cheeseburger tortilla that's new, and a guacamole sample that's an explosion of flavors. The kitchen is open late. There's delivery and takeout. For more information, go to tacocraft.com. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. One of the best restaurants in Broward, J&C Oyster in downtown Hollywood. At 2035 Harrison Street, this place is fantastic and worth a drive. It's got creative, cutting-edge seafood and more with an Asian twist and gorgeous cocktails. Chefs Raheem Seeley and Monica Dominguez cut their teeth at some of Miami's best restaurants. Don't miss some of these fantastic dishes, including grilled oysters, fried chicken, and the Thai red curry crab. Open Wednesday through Sunday for dinner with daily happy hour and outdoor seating. Go to jncoyster.com for reservations and information. Tell them Mike Mayo's Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks, just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, for tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Okay, we're back on the Lunchbox. You're a Twilight Social Hour edition from Corvina Seafood Grill, and also being replayed on the Labor Day holiday when Corvina will not be open. But they're having their spectacular social hour going on all month long through the end of September.
All summer long.
All summer long. And then even beyond that, to be announced further. But meanwhile, Lubie has transmogrified into, well, it's actually Paul Greenberg. We met him last month up at Prezzo in Boca, and he is the newest member of the Pozzuoli hospitality team. Welcome back to the Lunchbox, Paul. How's it going?
Thank you, guys. It's going great.
Yeah.
Really excited. Yep. Very excited.
What's new in your world? Were you hard at work even when Eddie and his wife were off gallivanting in Europe?
He was
jet
gallivanting
setting?
with us.
Yeah, I
Or
gallivanted near them. Yeah.
Okay.
We have to get ready before season starts. Got to get a couple days in of
No,
rest, relaxation.
Absolutely. Mental health, very important. R&D, you get to see
Oh, yeah.
what's going on in the international scene.
That was very cool.
It seems like everybody I know went to Europe this summer. I went to Tallahassee.
That's not a bad place to go.
That's his stomping grounds.
Guthrie's. I
the
took
gut
my daughter
box.
for her first gut box. She did proclaim the chicken tenders there the better than any of the other ones in
Really?
town. She said the
Oh,
fries.
in town, yeah.
She said the fries at Raising Cane's she likes better, but the actual tenders and the gut sauce, she did proclaim Guthrie's the champ.
What about Whataburger?
Whataburger? We haven't gotten drunk enough or to go there. I did not take her there.
I miss Whataburger.
My plumbing is not equipped to handle that anymore. But I did hear, I was reading something in the trade press that Whataburger might be expanding all the way to South Florida soon.
I saw Tampa.
Yeah, even beyond that, I saw that they might be looking into the Palm Beach and, maybe Broward markets, but that could be a couple of years away. But anyway, what's going on in your world in Pozzuoli hospitality, the two of you, in terms of coming up with any kind of new things, or just kind of trying to put the finishing touches on what's already on the drawing board? Yeah.
I think a little of both.
Yep.
I think a little of both. Yes. Very excited to join Eddie and his wife, Christina. I think we were a great team and we've got a lot of stuff to look forward to and build and grow. And we've got some stuff on the burner right now that hopefully soon we'll be able to talk a little more about. But we're excited for Eddie and Vinny's coming up very soon. It's going to be a fantastic coastal Italian restaurant that I'm super excited to be a part of, especially with the Prezzos, Corvina. Yep. It's a brand new new day.
Eddie was talking, telling us about it, and I was telling him that if you want to make me happy, just give me a little pasta, a little seafood on top of it, and I am one happy fat man. And that sounds like it's going to be a great, especially with
we'll have you there for first night. Make sure you have that pasta with
friends,
seafood on
family.
top.
I'll be definitely eagerly anticipating that. Meanwhile, again, just tell the fine folks again a little bit your background. You came and helped start the brand known as American Social. Right?
I did. I've been in the hospitality industry for the last, I think 30, 35. How old am I? 35, 30 years? Wait, hold on.
It's
Carry-
been a
Little
while.
more, about 34.
add
Yeah,
that,
I can't remember, but
Math is getting harder.
I've been in Boca for a long time. Started at Pete Rose Ballpark Cafe.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Long time ago. And I was there with
Used to do radio shows in the back.
Yeah,
He used to do it, and I think our other partner, Defo, would be in there from time to time.
It
And
was a cool place, yeah.
Pete would be phoning in his action to various bookies that, I still think he should be in the Hall of Fame, especially now that gambling is basically the major sponsor of every major league team.
Yep,
So
I agree.
hypocrisy, what is thou name? And Pete was definitely Charlie Hustle, the best of the best.
Great guy, too.
Hit king. I didn't realize you went back that far back.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Been in the business for a long time. And then was in Tallahassee for 11 years up there. So the Go Seminoles. And
well, so you were on the extended plan, kind of like Lubie. He was up there for 7 years. So.
Yep. I partnered with one of my closest friends at a place called Potbellies and the Painted Lady, which was fantastic. And then my future business partner I met there. And then we started American Social and had a great time throughout that. And then met this gem right next to me. And it's on to amazing things together.
Yeah. Now I'm getting a little concerned because Lubie is moving.
I think we just threw somebody out.
Did somebody get tossed?
I think so.
Oh wow! I always love a good ejection. No, I'm sure. Well, you know what? I'm gonna leave that alone. I don't know the particulars, but sometimes people get a little rowdy here in the rowdy on a Tuesday night. You don't see so much.
It's 5:30. You never know.
So I guess the whole meeting of the minds. Well, let me just ask about Europe. So when you go through there, are you actually looking at some things, or is there anything new or innovative going on in terms of things that could translate?
Like a lot of what we did in Ibiza actually will translate towards Eddie and Vinny's. Funny enough, Ibiza you think is like a party central, and trust me, it is party central. However, the dining aspect of it was like outstanding with this super, super, super fresh seafood that's coming literally right out
off
of
the boat.
Yeah.
Now, did they pronounce it Ibiza or Ibiza?
Ibiza. It's the TH.
Yeah.
And
it is,
so it's an island off the coast of Spain, right?
Yes.
Party central, but also known for food.
Great food scene.
And so I guess just what in terms of the presentation of the seafood or
everything from the service to like them bringing out the branzino, the full branzino to the table and showing us the fish before they even cut it open.
Okay.
Oh wow.
It was really cool. I've got videos with my wife that has lobsters in her hands, like live, like going crazy. And it was just cool. It was really cool to kind of, be that engaged with,
with the food.
With the food. Yeah.
So it's meet your dinner, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly. And just the freshness and the simplicity, to be honest with it, was truly amazing, and it like kind of opened your eyes a little bit to what is there's so much added stuff into food in America that you don't necessarily need all that.
Yeah, get out of the way. I mean, if you got good ingredients, and that's what a lot of the best chefs.
Then you get these requirements of that of the state or of the of the country on preservative this, preservative that, and it just some of that stuff.
Oh, wow, they're getting a little. They're getting a little rowdy. They're locking doors, and I don't know. We might have to throw Eddie into the mix.
I have to bounce somebody in a second.
You've been working.
They'll bring the muscle in.
Okay. Well, no, it's. I don't even know about all the rules and regulation. I know that fish has to be at some point blast frozen to kill the parasites and things like that. I don't know what.
Yeah, then coming, and obviously branzino is going to be the freshest over there because that's obviously where it's coming
out
from.
Of the sea. So
there's only so much we can do in Florida to get as fresh as possible.
Yeah, but you do have certain local fish, the swordfish, the snapper, and stuff
exactly.
Like that. Yeah. So anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing everything. How it translates in the new restaurant at Eddie and Vinny's in Coral Springs. That's all going to be good. Are you, Paul, I guess you're responsible for more of the beverage aspect because American Social was so beverage.
The beverage. I enjoy the beverage aspect of it. I got to go when I was in Barcelona. We went to Sips, which is the #1 cocktail bar in the world, and we hit a few of them.
Wait, I can't even process because with the Castellan accent. First of all, it's Barcelona, and it would be pronounced Sips instead of Sips.
They probably pronounce it Sips.
Yeah, probably.
I'm sorry. I'm beyond. I'm silly. This is the second show of the day, and don't even mind. Never mind.
No, it was great. It was great. We actually met the owner. He was there, and he was just like what we do, hands on, and I was extremely impressed with their program, the quickness of their drinks, how the drinks tasted, and just the owner being there. It's literally the #1 cocktail bar in the United States. And we had a few other ones. There was, I forget the name.
Wait, Sips was in where?
Sips was in Barcelona.
Okay, so #1 in Europe.
In the world.
In the world. Yeah.
That's a big place.
Yeah. I was very impressed. Yeah. And we had a few. There's a few that are in the top 25 in there that we went to, and it was just great experiencing everything. Because you might not like a spirit, you might not like scotch or gin, but the way they make it taste, you're not tasting the alcohol in there. You're tasting just all the flavors, fresh. Everything was fantastic.
Yeah, these mixologists now, and they use all these purees and other ingredients that really.
We're getting into it.
It's really an art now.
It's not that it hides the alcohol; it blends in with the alcohol.
It balances everything out. Where you're not, unless you really want that bite.
Yeah.
Then you drink a bourbon on the rocks, or
That's,
something.
Me
something
most
else.
days these days, just straight out of the bottle. Anyway, nobody wants to hear my problems. Go ahead.
Either of you take that? You talked about the way that they present the food, and you already try to make it as fresh as possible. I know Chef Jeff is big into that. You're in Barcelona with the drink program and some of the things. What are some of the things, not to tip your hand, but that you could see bringing over to Prezzo, Corvina, Eddie, and Vinny's? Either of you. I'll leave it open.
Go first on that.
We'll go with Peter first.
I actually enjoy, believe it or not, the way they prepare the drinks with the ice. I thought that was impressive. I've never seen ice presentation done the way that they've done that over there.
Chiseling the ice at.
There was one drink that we had that had 9 layers of circular ice, and you tasted the drink, the flavor profile,
like going through
the
a
entire way down.
or like cascading through a.
It was really cool.
So what everybody on the Let's Eat group wants to know is how much was the ice charge?
You know what? I will. It was very reasonably priced.
Okay.
I was very
Just
surprised.
in Miami, it would be like
good.
$8.
You want to talk about rocks charges, or you want to?
Well, not rocks charges. I actually have now seen some of the restaurants that use the big cube
charge
a $1 for the big cube.
The
for your
square ones or the little?
One.
Oh yeah.
Or the
circle one for
perfect
like
spherical ones, because
for the old fashioned they always
purified
have
water, and it's being
that.
brought in by a specialty outfit, and so it's not just the rocks charge. Which you want to explain that to everybody another
here
time?
We go.
Yeah, because people.
If you ask for a rocks pour, you are getting extra liquor in there. So generally, an establishment will pour 1.5 ounces, 1.25 ounces, ounce and a half. Most I find 1.5 ounces, and if you're getting a rocks pour, you're getting another 1/2 ounce onto it.
Right.
So
and it's usually for certain drink. Like if you order just gin and tonic, you're going to get a regular pour, right?
Correct.
But if you order one of the specialty, like I don't know what a gin specialty
or gin on the rocks,
or,
then you're getting 2 ounces.
Gin on the rocks, or when I get my bourbon, I'll have a old fashioned, and if you order old fashioned, they're going to use the 2 ounces. So
yeah.
I guess the thing that gets people, and I don't know if you could speak to this, Eddie, too, is just how come these POS, the point of sale systems, can't be programmed so that it hides that it's not a rocks charge, but that just say bigger, whatever.
Yeah,
whether
purely
it's
user error.
Yeah.
It's purely user error when it comes to those rocks charges, because I can assure you that every restaurant does that.
Right.
Because it literally is additional liquor. Because what would happen if somebody ordered a Tito's on the rocks from, or Tito's on the rocks, and if we did 1.5 ounce pour, it's going to
nothing.
It's going to fill the glass up like this. What's going to happen? The guest is going to say, "I need more booze." So you order Tito's on the rocks, you're going to get that 2 ounce pour.
Right.
On the receipt, however. It'll say Tito's rocks, but it's going to say one price.
Right.
So that upcharge rolls into the price
there,
of the,
you wanna know
of the
the
drink.
Again, people just want that. They hate seeing add-ons. It's like flying Spirit Airline.
It's true.
You pay for every bag, you pay for the air, all that stuff. It's like they just built it in one price, and then when they see it on the thing,
it's like charging for the credit card fees and stuff like that. It's they feel like they're being nickel and dimed, and I don't blame people for that, but
build it into the other, build it into the regular prices, and then people don't see it and they don't squawk as much.
And a lot of it is, is really education and letting your guests know what's an upcharge, what's not an upcharge, and being transparent about it. Because the last thing you want is a 1,000 comment post on Let's Eat South Florida.
Actually, a great deal.
Yeah,
it really is a good deal
really
when you order something on the rocks.
Yeah.
Oh no,
versus
I'm a
not.
Rocks, I'm a rocks guy all the way, and I understand it because I've been around the business and I've talked to people. But again, you speak, I guess the bigger issue is communication, clarity, and making sure people on both sides, because let's face it, regular folks who go out, they're not in the business. They might not be familiar with the jargon. And then when they look at a receipt, and more people are being more, I guess, money conscious these days. So they do look at a receipt. And then if they see that, charge for ice, and then they go on the group. And again, I have to explain it for the millionth time, and I get a little grouchy because it's one of those things that's been a recurring theme. Oh yeah, for you to say.
Every month and a half, there's probably a rocks charge comment.
Yeah, and it's one of those perennials, like the dogs in the restaurants, and I can't help it. Sometimes I do go for the engagement because I just like sit back on a Sunday morning and I'll say, "All right, let the fur fly," so to speak. And a lot of people have come up to me, especially the lurkers, the one who actually don't comment on anything, and they tell me how much enjoyment they get from some of those.
I think
posts.
your comments are great.
Oh, well, I try to be
Yeah.
snarky without going over the line into uncivil. But a lot of people tell me that is now replaced, like the Sunday comics, is going on to the Let's Eat group on a Sunday morning and seeing what the outrage du jour is. But anyway, you guys, there's nothing to be outraged about here. And instead of up charges, you got down charges. You look.
That's what we do.
It's 50% off. It's like, wait a second. And the only thing that you guys do ask and that you do put on the tip, completely fair, is that for the staff and the servers,
you go up to normal price.
You tip off what would be the ordinary price, 20% on full price, but you're getting the meal at half price, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And does anybody give any gruff about that, or everybody is pretty good?
No, I mean, everybody's, the servers are instructed also to let the guests know, because when they pay with the tablets, it'll say, it'll suggest the gratuity based off the pre-discounted price. So what's important is making sure the servers hit that step of service saying, just so you know, the suggested gratuity is based on the initial price pre-discount. You're more than welcome to leave however much you'd like.
Right.
And it always puts the ball back into the guest court.
It's their choice.
If they do want to leave it, it is what it is. We're not going to, you can't chase somebody out the door and say, oh, you should have tipped this.
But then it's up to me on the Let's Eat group saying, stop being so cheap. You're already getting a good deal.
It's up to you to say that, because we're.
Yeah, I know. You're in the hospitality business, and I'm in the engagement
the neutral party.
That's it. No, but you guys are doing a great job here. I guess, let's take our second break.
Yes,
and before we do that, I got to put out the good word about the ongoing, talking about promotions and deals. Dine Out Lauderdale is ongoing through the month of September, all month long, August and September, where you have more than 170 restaurants participating around the greater Fort Lauderdale, Broward County area, putting on all kinds of great menus, multi-course menus, places like our friends at Union Kitchen and Bar, where we'll be next week. Our friends at J&C Oyster, they have a great multi-course Dine Out Lauderdale menu. Go online to dineoutlauderdale.com, and it's in conjunction with our friends at Visit Lauderdale and the VLFoodWine.com, Visit Lauderdale Food Festival. You could go and check out some places that you wouldn't ordinarily go to. You could also come up here to Boca, too, because I know that I think the Palm Beach restaurant month is coming up in September. I think they call it Flavor Palm Beach. I don't know if you guys are taking part. You don't really need to if you're doing 50% off.
Is it going
5
on
to
this
6?
year?
I think
it is. It's a 1 month only,
Okay.
September 1st through 30th, which I mentioned just out of a courtesy because I know all three counties, people who live here year round do appreciate it. Miami Spice to the south. Dine Out Lauderdale and Broward, and Flavor Palm Beach. Only 1 month this year, in September 1st to 30th. But go online, Dine Out Lauderdale. A lot of good places taking part, and I'm sure at some point, Eddie and Vinny's will be part of the fun next year.
Oh, yeah.
When it opens up.
Absolutely.
All right, let's take our final break, and then we'll come back, and maybe there'll be some wine in our future.
He's not hinting.
I mean, there was definitely somebody whining as they got thrown out a little while ago. I don't
It's
know.
the wine and cheese hour.
It's a rough
We'll be
crowd
back
around
with
here.
more on the Lunchbox. Eddie Pozzuoli, Paul Greenberg, after these messages. From a scratch kitchen, delicious drinks and house-made spirits from a craft bar. A great vibe inside and out with a spacious patio. I'm talking about Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap, Fort Lauderdale, in the heart of the city at 525 North Federal Highway. It's open 7 days for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch with classics like fried chicken and waffles and shrimp and grits, and creative items like pecan-crusted salmon and a fried green tomato BLT. And the drinks? Smooth sipping and so good. There's convenient free parking and a garage next door, happy hour at the bar, an entire patio, 4 to 7 Monday to Friday, and live music every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's pet and people friendly and with cozy fire pits for when the temperature dips. For reservations and more information, go to bashsouthernkitchen.com. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, and also now with a new location on Las Olas Boulevard. Those are my spots. Upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. A little further inland, Luke's Seafood and Grill. That's Luke's with a C, 5511 South University Drive in Davie. Luke and Roxy, they're a great couple with great food. It's a mom and pop shop bringing the freshest fish and seafood to Western Broward. Some of the best jambalaya and fish cakes around. And Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? You can find his famous Scoobies, those sauteed crab claws, right there on the specials board most days. Oh, so good. So take a trip to University just north of Sterling today. Lunch, dinner, closed on Mondays. Tell them Mike Mayo's Lunchbox sent you. When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. Go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the black and grilled wings, and of course the kitchens are open late. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Prezzo Italian Restaurants, 2 locations, Boca Raton at Park Place on Military Trail and Palm Beach Gardens in the PGA Commons on PGA Boulevard. Contemporary Italian cuisine with house-made pastas, wood-fired pizzas, salads, veal, chicken, and of course their famous focaccia bread with oven-roasted garlic bulbs. In Garlic We Trust is their slogan, and you can trust Prezzo for a great experience with gracious service and tremendous value. Open 7 days, featuring brunch, lunch, dinner, and happy hour. Great wine deals and full bar at both locations. For reservations and more information, go to eatprezzo.com. Back on the Lunchbox, we're talking about my favorite restaurant, the House of No. The place where they don't like to say yes, but that will remain nameless. My crusade against them.
They're arch enemies. Everyone knows.
It rhymes with the city in Texas. It doesn't rhyme with. It is a city in Texas.
It doesn't rhyme. It is a city in Texas.
It's also a chain, pretentious, that loves telling you why they can't do certain things. All right, enough of that. We're in a place. We're in a house of yes.
We are.
But Eddie Pozzuoli, Paul Greenberg, his new partner in Pozzuoli Hospitality. All kinds of things cooking here, literally and figuratively, and
a lot of action. There's lots in the future to maybe talk about as we keep
good.
Going
but
on.
We'll let that percolate, simmer on the stove, so to speak. Meanwhile, I'm a happy man because it is the social hour, and I'm being sociable with a beautiful glass of wine. How did you know that I was?
I had no idea.
What did you pour here? I'm going to say it's some sort of. You know what? I've got such a bad wine palate. Is it a cab?
It is a cab. There you
Okay.
go.
Oh, it's a cab. I can
It's a
tell you
cab. I
Right
could
out
tell
of the
that.
box.
I love box cabs. Some of my favorite. You know what? It's so funny how wine snobs from the past have changed all their thinking because screw caps have actually become an acceptable part.
They're
of
called
fine-
Stelvin enclosures.
Stelvin enclosures. I never heard
That's
that one.
great.
That's good. But where do you stand on that?
So someone's yelled at you about it, and you're like, no.
No, when they first started coming out, somebody from one of the wine companies came out and was like, no, this is what they're called.
it's not a
When someone
corkscrew.
complains,
Yeah, it's not a screw cap.
because
Yeah.
people want to smell the cork. Yeah.
Corkscrew you open the cork with.
I mean, they
The
say
screw
it
top.
actually keeps the wine better.
It's better. It's less chance of corkage or spoilage.
Exactly. So
And Paul knows that. Right?
it's just
So-
not the. It's tough though, because if you're drinking wine, you have that stigma that
Yep.
you want to open the cork up and smell
It's
it.
part
and
of the presentation and the
exactly.
show, especially in France. Tell me about your journey through France, and was there any highlight? And did you also
From
go?
what I remember. All right. So, Bordeaux. We didn't know what to expect, to be honest, of it. Obviously we're big
Left
winos.
bank, right bank,
All banks.
all the banks.
We learned about Grand Cru Class A, Margaux, Saint Emilion, and how they classify things different. And prior to going to France, I don't drink French wine. I was never a French wine person because I've never understood it.
Okay, you were more of a California Italian
California,
guy.
Italy.
Okay.
That's my two fastballs down the middle.
Right.
Love Napa. Been out a bunch of times. Obviously, been to Italy. Been into Tuscany. Got engaged in Tuscany.
Oh wow.
And am comfortable with that. Obviously,
Yeah.
Italian restaurants don't hurt. That I'm comfortable with
All
that.
you need to know is two words: Barolo and Brunello.
There you
That's
go.
it. Yes.
So we going there. I was actually really looking forward to learning more about what makes French wine great, and what they do differently versus California and Italy, and how they classify things. And part of it is like untouchable kind of stuff, to where there's only 5 chateaus that can have the Grand Cru Class A
Okay.
in the Margaux region,
Right.
and it's never going to change.
It's basically government regulation that
Yes.
only
Well,
certain ones are allowed to carry the brand.
So this
or
was
the
a
branding.
pact of 1855.
Okay.
And if you want to get really
Treaties
into
and
the
stuff, yeah.
the geek stuff, these 5 wineries got
Right.
together back then and said, we're classifying ourselves as the best, and nobody's ever going to be able to join into
It's like
this.
OPEC, only with wine
Yeah.
instead of
100%.
oil or
And,
something.
since then, there's nobody else that's allowed to join
Right.
into that Class A of Grand Cru in Margaux. And no matter how good your wine is, you'll never have that classification.
Right. It's like champagne can only
I was
come
gonna say, it's
from
just like
the
champagne.
champagne
It has to be there.
region. Everything else is just sparkling wine. So,
It's very interesting how
they
they
take it very seriously,
Mhm.
there.
And-
but
and-
it's also seriously good stuff. Have you been through France and some of those regions?
Not in that region. I've been to Paris once. That's
Okay.
it.
No, I did. I've gone through France, but I did not hit Bordeaux. I did Burgundy, which is very interesting because you learn about the Premier Cru, the first growth, and some
It's
of
a
the
big
really
wine.
high-end stuff. And the Burgundy wines are more floral and earthy.
Mhm.
The Bordeaux's are more along the lines of the bigger, fuller-bodied ones. And the Saint Emilion is a Merlot grape, right?
Mhm.
That's just the fancy French word for Merlot. I've been through the Rhone Valley and Provence region where it has some good rosés.
They actually
And
do
then-
a lot of the areas actually utilize Merlot more than I thought. Than we do in the Napa.
Yeah,
Napa
well,
region.
Merlot has gotten a real bad
Merlot
rep.
now
It-
has a weird.
It does, yeah.
and a
It
lot
didn't
of
used to. That's
a
Used
lot
to be
of
the most
Americans
used to be a
popular.
really popular,
Yeah.
nice wine.
they drank it until it became
Now it's
overproduced
uncouth
and a little
or tacky.
insipid and insipid, and then a lot of people pronounce it Merlot too.
Yes,
so that's
to make
another
fun
thing.
of it.
That's-
The one thing about being over there is they take their one wine very, very seriously. So, whereas in Napa you go somewhere and this one they have a Chardonnay, a Sauv Blanc, a Cab Franc, and they have all these separate different SKUs. Whereas in Bordeaux, they're growing all of those grapes, but they have one wine that they make where they blend it out of it. So they're taking, okay, this is from our Cab lot, this is from our Cab lot, this is from our Cab Franc lot, this is from our Merlot lot, and they put it all together, and all they care about is making that one wine for the year.
Mhm.
They're not trying to make separate types of wine
for different markets.
And
It's-
a lot of it's, I guess, profit driven and whatnot, because then not only do you have one bottle, but now you have 4 types of bottles. So,
right.
I think there's a little bit of the capitalism kind of
Right,
built
and
into the American side of it.
Different tiers for the different
Mm.
levels
But
of.
We did notice that a lot of the wineries we went to and a lot of wineries in Bordeaux are now American owned.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I did not know that. I know there was a lot of consolidation, especially out in the Napa Valley, and there's these major, brands, co-brand, and I think some of them were South
Treasury
African
Wine
and some of
Estates
them.
and-
But I didn't realize the Americans and that they actually allowed them to take
yeah,
over.
and a lot, what they were telling us is they were very skeptical initially of
Right.
Americans coming in and trying to disrupt their
America,
process. But what's
They're going to put hot dogs in the house.
what's happened is they've beautified the properties and really
Okay.
brought a prestige back.
Man,
To,
Well, that's one thing I loved about the whole Napa, California thing, where it's become not just about the wine, but about a culture of hospitality and tourism. And you make these beautiful grounds where people they have inns and you could stay and have, parties and beautiful lush gardens where you could sit and drink your wine. So that's been going on there, huh?
yeah, it's it was actually kind of cool to see, and they're not like big companies that are buying these places. It's it's families. It's
Okay.
these multi-generational billionaire families that want to have a chateau in France. So it's not like your co-brand isn't going out there and
Okay.
buying up all these phenomenal little chateaux in Margaux. But
That's interesting.
it was definitely interesting to kind of see how many.
So let me ask you this: now that you've been there and have learned a little bit about the French wine and the Bordeaux, are you going to start putting some of those bottles on the menu that Eddie and Vinny's?
So Eddie and
or
Vinny's,
at
Corvina.
Corvina.
This will segue perfectly into our wine program.
Good
Yeah.
job, Mike.
Great
Mayo.
job.
I was actually going
Thank
to
you.
ask that question, so you
See,
beat me
this
to
is
it.
why
Good
he
job,
brings
Mayo. I'm
me the
proud
wine.
of you.
'cause
So-
it-
I was about to go. So what are you thinking of doing
There
with
you
what
go.
you learned there
So
in your establishments over here in the
So,
States?
so the goal for the new restaurant is we want to get that Wine Spectator Award. That's it's really important to
Nice.
us to have that recognition from the Wine Spectator. So what that'll involve is definitely carrying French wine. So we'll have to have French wine on the list. But they're very particular about how the wine lists present themselves and putting vintages on there and
Right.
and the whole 9 yards. Not just what wine you pick, but how it's presented to the guests. So
right.
um,
Decanters. You're going to have.
Oh yeah,
decanters.
we're gonna have we'll try to get some verticals, different years of different wines and whatnot, and we are going to be doing a wine locker program there as
Oh.
well, which is something that we have always tossed around when we were previously out there,
Mhm.
because there's a lot of big wine drinkers out by us in
Okay.
Parkland and Coral Springs, and
So what? They would charge them corkage or just charge them a locker fee and they can bring their own wine in? Or?
So how it'll work, and we haven't nailed out the details or whatever yet, but what you do is you buy a wine locker, and what that'll entitle you is discounted wine to purchase
Okay.
for your locker or for your house, whatever you want from us. And fortunately, we have some great purchasing power to where we can pass those great discounts
Right.
along to our
Oh, wow.
guests. In addition to that, if they keep wine in their locker, or even liquor for that matter, say that they'll be able to utilize that or drink that wine with no corkage fee
Oh wow!
when they come in to eat.
Right.
So it'll be
Yeah,
whatever.
membership has its rewards.
Yeah,
So
like a
you'll-
nominal monthly fee plus an initial purchase price.
Okay.
You get your name on the locker, the whole
Yeah.
9 yards. But
And there are some serious collectors out there,
Mhm.
particularly in the Parkland region. A couple of people I know had really nice wine cellars and all that.
and,
So
and we're we want to even segue that into the liquor side too, because there's a lot of phenomenal spirits that you might not necessarily be able to get your hands on, but say you want to buy this rare bottle of scotch that we can get a hold of, but obviously you're not going to drink it in one sitting at the restaurant. We'd be happy to have
Oh,
it
maybe.
sit. What's that?
Depends what
Yeah.
kind of day you have.
That's
Depends
true.
who's hanging out.
Yeah. We'd
And
be
what
happy
kind
to
of day
keep
it
it in your
is.
locker for you. And when you come, or if you have a friend coming in, you want to buy them a shot of this special bourbon that we were able to get for you, by all means, that's your bourbon.
It all sounds great. It all sounds very appetizing. Food side, beverage side, hospitality side. Can't wait
Hospitality side is
to see. That's
Yes.
everything.
Most important part about
That's
it.
why you put hospitality in the name of Pozzuoli
That's it.
Hospitality Group. Eddie, Paul, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We're going to wrap it up for today. Again, Corvina Seafood Grill, right here on Plaza Real South in Boca Raton, just south of Palmetto Park Road. Social hour every day that it's open through the end of September, and even beyond that. They will be also doing some other specials, but 50% off the entire menu, the entire bar. You can't beat that deal. 5 to 6 p.m. every day. They're closed on Mondays for now, and you can get a reservation at opentable.com.
Resi.
Resi.com. Like
Or
I
our
said,
website.
Resi.com or the Corvina. What's the
CorvinaBocaRaton.com.
CorvinaBocaRaton.com. Eddie, Paul, thank you so much. Lubie,
for
thanks
having
for all
us.
your help today.
Thank you all.
We will see everybody again tomorrow from Luke's Seafood in Davie. We're hitting all the seafood spots because I am going pescatarian. That's what my
It feels like that's
cardiologist
what's
told me.
happening. You're doing seafood so
I
much.
love it. I
You're
love
like
it.
pitching him on seafood dishes. He's like, what are you talking about?
I love the seafood, especially when the weather's like this. It's all good. All right. We'll see everybody tomorrow. Enjoy every glass of vino and enjoy every sandwich.
Cheers.
Cheers.